even really like want to talk about these things. I'm not someone who likes to like I'm not the activist type, okay? I have a lot of like my own opinions and I reflect and I do a lot of thinking, but I'm not the activist type. I'm not no, I hate confrontation, I hate conflict, I get very stressed and I don't like really like standing up for myself. I'm definitely more like inclined to stand up for someone else. Definitely not myself though. But I feel like I have to talk about something and I don't want to and I'm a little stressed about it. So we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it. I'm gonna put it out there. I think a big part of me talking about something that like I guess I'm like passionate about or like that I feel could be viewed in a wrong way is I get really stressed about being misconstrued with like my how I'm presenting my opinions and my thoughts and like if I'm not saying them the right way and like everyone just takes something you say and like rips it apart and like takes it out of context and it's like the scary part of being on the internet. So that's my disclaimer. It's just hard because I just want to be like, I'm coming here with good intention and I'm not trying to shit on anyone and I don't want to hurt it. My thing is I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. My friend was like, you should talk about this. And I was like, well, I don't want to hurt the company's feelings. Like maybe they didn't mean this, but it's just something we got to talk about. Okay. I am stressed and rambling. I'm doing this in one take. I'm not cutting it. I'm not editing it. I'm just saying what I got to say. Okay. So, it's not even that stressful, but I just like my anxiety just like does things and gets to me. Okay, you've already like clicked off because it's been a minute and a half. So if you're still here, thank you so much. All right, so let's talk about this. So we live in this world where obviously there's a lot of like plastic surgery. There's a lot of like people getting lip injections and fillers and whatever and Botox. And I think it's totally like that's cool. That's your thing. Totally like a personal preference thing. People ask me my opinion on it and like for myself, and I'm like honestly like I have a fucking huge needle phobia, so like it's not even on the table for me. Like it's just not even crossing my mind because it doesn't even matter because it's not happening. So anyway, for a very long time I've talked about my whole square face thing, right? I have a very square face. Right angles all up in here. And when I was little, it was definitely a huge insecurity of mine. I did not understand like that there was any beauty in square faces, and I just saw like, everyone just had like little thin faces and it wasn't a thing. And it's like, it's kind of like anything, right? Like if you think your nose is too big or you're like overweight or just anything where you don't see yourself in a group setting and you can't identify in a group setting, you feel alienated, you feel alone, and then you kind of do like a self-hatred thing. It's just kind of like subconscious. It's just what happens, right? If you can't see yourself in a group, then you don't feel part of the group, you feel alienated, and then you take it out on yourself. So that's exactly what happens. So anyway, for the longest time, I did not like my square face, and it's taken me a really long time to like even come to terms with the fact that it's like it's cool, it is what it is. I'm not even gonna be like, oh my god, I love it now. Like I'm definitely not the type to be like body positivity and like face positivity or whatever. I'm just like body neutrality, face neutrality, everything's just like neutral, because I'm someone who believes that beauty is so subjective. Like what I consider beautiful and what you consider beautiful are totally different things. Like growing up when people tell me I'm really pretty or I'm really beautiful or like whatever, I'd always like say thank you, and they'd be like, well, don't you think? And I'd be like, well, it doesn't really matter because that's like your opinion and that's cool, but like in my head, like I know what I consider beautiful. Like when I see someone who looks like X, Y, and Z, I'm like, holy crap, you're beautiful. So there's generic beauty, as in like beauty is like, symmetry and health, and like those are things like us as humans recognize as beautiful. And then there's things that we just like really like I just love like Shakira curly hair. I love like caramel skin tone. Like, those are like my things that I consider beautiful. Anyway, I'm rambling. What else is new? I'm stressed. Okay. So basically, anyway, it's taken me a while to come to terms with the fact that I have a square face, and like it's considered like beautiful kind of now in the world because people are like, oh, it's like the model jawline and it's the whatever. But when you're a kid, you just look like in the class photo, you're like face, 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 face. Okay. So anyway, I started doing some videos about square faces, and I didn't think they would do so well, but they've done really well on YouTube, and I've had so many people come forward and be like, I have a square face, and for the longest time, like, I just thought it was, like, ugly, and I didn't know what to do about it, but, like, your tips have helped me, like, embrace it, or, like, now that I see you embracing your square face, then I embrace mine, and, like, it sounds so silly, like, a square face, like, there's so many other things people are insecure about, but at the same time, like, we all have our insecurities no matter what it is. Like, it can be the smallest thing, and there's still, like, there's a group mentality when you can kind of band together and you feel like accepted by a group. So anyway, I've had all these young girls come forward, like so many young girls who are like 15 and 16, and they're like, I hated my face and now I like it and now I figured it out and I feel awesome about that. So that's been in the last few weeks. So in the last few weeks I've been like, wow, you know, I need to make more square face content. Like I actually feel like I'm making a difference, even if it's a makeup. I may not be saving lives, but I feel like I'm actually helping people, which is like all I freaking want. So I was like, okay, cool. I feel good about this. And then a few days ago, I get this email and it was like, hi Megan, we would like to give you jaw reconstruction surgery and give you a like little V-shaped face. And I was like, excuse me? The fact that someone, oh, there's so many layers to this. Number one, like, why are you giving like people soliciting like beauty stuff, whether it's like plastic surgery, lip fillers, like it kind of just makes me a little uncomfortable. But at the same time, like a beauty treatment, I'm like, I get, like if you're like, here, want a facial or try this or whatever, like I'm used to that stuff and I get it. But for someone to come into your space that you've not asked them to come into, and for them to be like, we would like to break your bones, we don't like your skeleton, and we want to reform it into the shape of our ideal beauty. It's a little fucked up. Like it's had me feeling a couple kind of ways these last few days. I've kind of just been processing, going through the motions, and I'm just like, okay, so yeah, they came into my space and they said, this is our ideal of beauty. We're not asking you what yours is, and we would like to break your jaw and form it into the shape we want. Like, that's intense. So it's just kind of like, you can't do that. I get that, yes, beauty is subjective and people have their views of what they think is beautiful, but you cannot impose those on someone else when you have not asked. And again, it goes like the same thing where people come into your DMs and they're like, hey, want to lose weight? Blah, blah, blah. Like, why? That's just not okay. And I just don't think it should be an acceptable practice. And I don't know, I don't think it is an acceptable practice, but people still do it. But just, it really had me feeling a few ways, because I've only just gone to this place of like acceptance of like liking my face, and a huge part of that is because everyone else around me said they liked my face, so it kind of just like subconsciously, like it was like I got subconsciously peer pressured into liking myself, which is cool and great. I'm not saying I don't like myself, but I'm just saying like on a very like physical shallow level, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is like a cool thing, we can like work with this because other people like it. Ugh, like whatever. And for someone just to like say, like, you just get to this place where you're like, okay, cool, other people like it, so I like it. And then you start kind of liking it because you're like, all right, this is cool. And then for someone to be like, actually, we don't like it, and we would like to break your face. Break your face! Like, to reshape your skeleton. Someone came into my space and said, we would like to reshape your skeleton. It's just crazy to me. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just making me feel like you were like starting to feel beautiful, and now you're being told like that's not beautiful. And I get it. Like I said, beauty is subjective, so I can like let it go and like water under the bridge and like, you know, I accept it and I release it. But at the end of the day, like, it's just kind of like crazy. So we just have to be careful the way we talk to each other, and what we really, you shouldn't really be giving unsolicited advice. Like, I just don't think it should be a thing. Like, you know, people need to be in a receptive space to like receive what you're saying, or they're not even going, it's not even gonna matter, number one. But you should also be like respecting people's boundaries. So I would like to put up the boundary, please do not tell me to change my skeleton. Please don't tell me like what to like, it's just fucked, man. Like, you know, it's like we all have our body type preferences, even like on the opposite sex or the opposite gender, like, you know, whatever you're into, right? And you're just like, I like a curvy, I like a skinny, like whatever you like is totally cool. And that's why I'm saying beauty is subjective. So don't tell people to fucking break their face and change it. Like, what the fuck? Okay, totally, I've talked enough. This is all I need to say. Thank you for hanging out. I just needed to kind of like vent this. It's just kind of crazy in this beauty world that we think we need to like impose all these things. Like I always say, like, makeup is fun. You can do transformational things, and you can, you know, shape your face and change things, and that's awesome and fun if that's what you want to do. And if you want to wear blue eyeshadow and like pink lipstick and just like say F the world, then do you too. So that's all I gotta say. I just need to work through this. Thank you for doing it with me. Let me know what you think down below. And we did this under than 10 minutes, so hell yeah, and in one take. Okay. Thanks guys for letting me get that out.